and Magnus played this game against Pavel Elyanov, I might be pronouncing that wrong, in 2008. So here we go, Magnus playing with the white pieces, and we go with a Queen's Gambit-like structure. Black develops to protect the bishop, as he had to. Black castles, white decides to kick the bishop. Bishop goes back. Magnus kicks the bishop once again, and Magnus plays pawn to b4. Now Magnus is seriously gaining space on the queen side here, while also maintaining a solid pawn structure. This is a nice pawn triangle, really solid. Every pawn defends the others, so it's really good. And now Black plays this move. This is a pawn sacrifice, but it does free his light squared bishop, so it kind of has a purpose. And it is actually the engine's top move in this position for Black. And a chess rule that you may want to be aware of is that when one player attacks on the flank, the other should attack in the center. You can't let your opponent have all the play. You need activity and counterplay in chess. So that's why Black, it's a decent idea to go for this attack here in the center. Black plays this move, trying to get the pawn back now. Magnus fianchettos the bishop. Black does take, white takes, we have a trade. And what is white threatening to do now? After this move, rook to d1, what is he threatening to play on the next move if Black doesn't do anything about it? That's true, rook takes. Other than rook takes, though, there's even another thing. Yep, knight takes d5, yeah. Well spotted. Knight takes because the bishop attacks the knight. So this would also be potentially pretty scary. So yeah, this is what Magnus is thinking about perhaps. And so Black defends with the bishop. Magnus plays knight takes anyway. He's going to win this knight. Assuming Black takes with the bishop, which he does, Magnus gets to win the knight, and he got basically got a pawn out of that. Black plays this move, solidifying his bishop. Magnus gets ready to castle. We have a trade. Magnus does castle. Black activates the queen. And some shuffling of the rook. Magnus gets the bishop out. Black doubles his rooks on this half-open file. There's not a whole lot of play available to Black at the moment here. And now Magnus plays this move, pawn to e4. Why is Magnus sacking this pawn? Would you take it if you were Black? In a real game situation? Like, do you think you would think he just miscounted, and would you take it? Yeah, I think a lot of people would. I'll go ahead and tell you that you should not take this pawn. It looks like a free pawn, but it's not. Can any of you see why? If it was Magnus, no. That's a great answer. Yeah. Yeah, you got to be kind of suspicious when Magnus appears to give you a free pawn. Yeah, exactly. Back rank. It's pretty deep. A lot of trades have to happen first. But yeah, after everything trades, if bishop takes, rook takes, after everything trades, there is back rank mate. So basically anything that you take can and will be used against you. You're basically throwing away a piece if you take. Yeah, it's not good. You can't take. So crazy stuff there. Magnus sacrifices the pawn. I think a lot of people would take it. So just a good example of why you have to really watch out for those things. So Black does not take. Pawn to g6 is played instead, giving the king an escape square. And Magnus, of course, he can't take the bishop because there's a battery against this rook. So he's got to do something else. He moves the queen. And those of you who love to say en passant is forced, I've got bad news for you. If you play en passant here, you've lost your queen. Sadly, Magnus cannot take en passant here. It's a tragedy, but he just can't do it. So Magnus plays this move instead, and he's going to have to recover from that emotional damage very quickly of not being able to play en passant. He plays this move, attacking the queen with a nice discovery. Wow, interesting. Wow, he was almost world champion at 20. I'm 21. I wish I was almost world champion. That's wild. Yeah, so Magnus plays this. And then he plays this, and now Magnus is up 2 pawns here. And black moves the rook over to this open file. Magnus is happy to trade the queens. And now we are officially in endgame territory. Magnus up 2 pawns. And now we arrive at this position, which is highly fascinating. Because the position here is actually drawish if black trades bishops. That might sound like I've lost my mind. You guys might be very, very concerned about me right now. That should sound like the craziest thing you've ever heard, because white has 2 connected passed pawns if black trades bishops. Like, how is this drawish? But can you see why? This is a good exercise. Try to think about it. This is going to be a very drawish position if this happens. I'll tell you, it's kind of deep. And it is a tactical thing. Look at the like natural moves that black has after he trades the bishop, after white takes back. What do you think black should play? Try to find like a natural move. Getting the rook behind a pawn is often a good idea. There's a hint. Victor's got it. Then rook d4. Well spotted. Yes, exactly. Well done. Rook d4 is the next move. And so this pawn's here. It's gonna, the rooks can't really defend it. So it's gonna push. The rook's on d4, so the rook can actually then take. And then if you take, this other rook hangs. So basically black wins one of the pawns using a pin. So I'm gonna show you now, and I'll show you the engine too. Yeah, it's like plus 0.3 after this position because of rook to d4. It's crazy. This is the only move in the position. Nothing really to do except d6, I believe. And then rook takes d6 using this pin. Absolutely beautiful. And if white takes, black takes, white can try this, but black is just in time to get back and stop the promotion. And the d-pawn can eventually be attacked by the black king and the black rook. Black should be able to win it. And then it's going to be a very, very drawish type of position. So crazy, crazy stuff there. The bishop trade was, complete nonsense from a positional standpoint, because like you're giving 2 connected passed pawns, but for a very tactical reason, it ends up being a draw. So crazy, crazy position there. And black did not see it. This is, kind of sad. Black misses the chance to get a draw against Magnus. He didn't see the tactic after the bishop trade. Quite sensibly, he didn't want to immediately give Magnus 2 connected passed pawns. That's usually not a good idea to do against Magnus, or against anyone for that matter. But by not trading the bishops, he misses the chance to draw the game. He plays this instead. Magnus trades the bishops. This pawn becomes isolated. Now Magnus is still up 2 pawns, but there are no drawing tactics for black. Magnus would be happy to trade the rooks. So black does not do that. Both sides are activating the kings. We see the rooks shuffling. Magnus gets his rook to the 7th rank with a tempo against this pawn. Black pushes. Magnus comes here with the king. Black plays this move with the pawn, giving a check. And now Magnus can't possibly hold on to his passed pawn. He's gonna have to lose it here, but he can get activity. And when you must lose an advantage in chess, you want to try to trade it for another advantage. So watch what Magnus does. He plays this move, rook to d3. He's going to let black take it, and then he's going to come here. And now Magnus has two superpower rooks on the 7th rank, and he's probably got some, he's got a lot of checks he can do, a lot of scary stuff. This does not look like a lot of fun for black. Magnus plays this move, attacking this pawn. Black goes here, and here is your super rare chance to be better than Magnus. There is a move that is undoubtedly better than the move Magnus played, and I think it's kind of findable. So can you find it? I'm curious if anyone will find it. Who can beat Magnus? Okay, so Magnus played this move, the rook check, entirely natural move. But ladies and gentlemen, Magnus actually missed mate in 2. Congratulations to Coach Joseph, who is officially better than Magnus. He was as good as Magnus last week. Now he's graduated very quickly to now being better than Magnus because he found a mate in 2 that Magnus somehow did not play. And yeah, I don't know how, but Magnus missed mate in 2, and there's nothing black can do about it. This is going to just be a checkmate. Wow, there you go. Crazy stuff. Yeah, so Magnus played this move instead, and I mean, it's still completely winning, of course. King to e6, and Magnus plays rook to f8, and I mean, look at how nice this move is. Like, what can black do about rook takes g6? Nothing at all. There's nothing he can do at all to stop this. Magnus can take on g6 on the next move. He still cuts off the black king with his other rook. And black resigned here on the same move that he would have been mated if Magnus had seen the mate in 2. So, of course, knowing Magnus, he probably knew black would resign on this move anyway. So that's why he missed the mate in 2. He was just giving a chess coach in North Carolina some good chess lesson content, and for that I thank him. So, some takeaways from this game. If you have the clock time, you should really consider as many different moves as you possibly can. I think that's a big difference between playing okay chess and playing great chess, simply how many moves you look at, because you increase your chances of seeing the tactics if you look at more moves in a position. So that means you should even consider moves that look bad strategically to see if there's a tactic after them. Because black genuinely could have drawn this game if he had played the strategically senseless but tactically correct bishop trade. And finally, if you're going to lose an advantage, try to trade it for another advantage. That's another good thing to keep in mind.